Welcome to another journey through time, where we unravel the epic saga of one of history's greatest rulers, Charlemagne, the legendary king of the Franks and emperor of the Romans. Born into a world of turmoil and transformation, Charlemagne's story is more than just a tale of conquest and power. It's a narrative of vision, reform and legacy that reshaped medieval Europe. In this video, we delve into the life of a man whose ambition extended beyond mere borders, a leader who sought to unite a fragmented continent under a banner of progress and faith. From his early years in the shadow of his father, Pepin the Short, to his ascension as the sole ruler of the Frankish kingdom, Charlemagne's journey is one of intrigue, battle and diplomacy. But what lies behind the legend? What were the true challenges he faced? And how did his reign change the course of European history? Stay with us as we explore the triumphs, the struggles, and the enduring influence of Charlemagne. Prepare to be captivated by the story of a king whose legacy continues to echo through the ages. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button for more fascinating historical stories. Let's dive into the past and uncover the secrets of Charlemagne's extraordinary life. Charlemagne, who was born under the name of Karl around 742 AD, was a scion of the ruling family of the Franks. His father, Pepin the Short, served as the mayor of the palace, and his mother was Bertrada of Lyon. From his earliest years, Charlemagne was immersed in an environment of political power and military undertakings, which greatly influenced his upbringing and development. In 751, Pepin the Short took a decisive step by declaring himself King of the Franks, deposing the last Merovingian king and establishing the Carolingian dynasty. This bold move not only altered the course of Frankish history, but also laid the groundwork for young Charlemagne's future. As the son of a king, Charlemagne received an education befitting a future ruler. He was taught Latin, familiarized with Greek culture, trained in the art of war, and instructed in Christian teachings. This education prepared him for the challenges he would face as the leader of one of the most powerful states in Europe. In 768, upon the death of Pepin the Short, Charlemagne and his younger brother Charlemagne inherited the Frankish kingdom. Though the kingdom was divided between the two brothers, this did not lead to stability. The relationship between Charlemagne and Charlemagne was strained and often contentious, pushing the Frankish kingdom to the brink of civil war. The dynamic changed dramatically with Charlemagne's death in 771. Charlemagne declared himself the sole ruler of the Franks, unifying the entire kingdom under his control. This was a pivotal moment in his life, paving the way for conquests and the creation of one of the greatest empires in history. Now, with the full power of the Frankish kingdom in his hands, Charlemagne began to realize his ambitions for expansion and consolidation of his influence in Europe. His vision of a unified Christian empire ruled by a strong and wise monarch began to materialize. This stage in Charlemagne's life laid the foundation for his future achievements and determined how he would be remembered in history. After assuming sole rulership of the Frankish kingdom, Charlemagne embarked on a series of military campaigns that would redefine the landscape of Europe. His ambitions were not merely territorial. He sought to integrate these lands under a unified Christian doctrine and Frankish rule, creating a semblance of order in a fragmented world. In 774, Charlemagne turned his attention to the Lombards in Italy, a strategic move that would have far-reaching implications. Responding to the plea of Pope Adrian I, who faced threats from the Lombards, Charlemagne marched across the Alps, demonstrating not only his military prowess, but also his commitment to the papacy. By defeating the Lombards and taking the title King of the Lombards, he not only expanded his empire, but also deepened his alliance with the Church, a relationship that would be pivotal in his later coronation as emperor. One of Charlemagne's most protracted and brutal campaigns was against the Saxons, a Germanic tribe staunchly adhering to their pagan beliefs. These wars, spanning from 772 to 804, were marked by fierce battles, forced conversions and the infamous massacre of Verdun. Charlemagne's determination to integrate the Saxons into his Christian empire led to decades of resistance and conflict, reflecting the era's harsh realities and the complexities of state-building, administrative reforms and cultural revival. While expanding his empire, Charlemagne also focused on internal reforms. He implemented administrative changes, appointing counts and sending out royal agents, missi dominici, to ensure his decrees were enforced. He fostered the Carolingian Renaissance, a cultural revival promoting education, art, and scholarship. This period saw the standardization of Latin, preservation of classical texts, and the development of the Carolingian minuscule script, which significantly influenced European written culture. As we close this chapter, we see Charlemagne not just as a conqueror, but as a visionary ruler reshaping the political, cultural, and religious landscape of Europe. His actions set the stage for the next phase of his reign, where his legacy would be further cemented in history. After consolidating his power and initiating significant reforms, Charlemagne, driven by his ambitions and deep Christian convictions, elevated his realm to unprecedented heights. In the year 800, on Christmas Day in Rome, Charlemagne was crowned emperor by Pope Leo III. This act not only strengthened the bond between the Frankish kingdom and the Roman Church, but also symbolized the revival of the Western Roman Empire idea. This coronation was the pinnacle of Charlemagne's career, affirming his authority and prestige. The reason behind Pope Leo III's decision to crown Charlemagne is intriguing. At that time, the Pope's influence was threatened by political conflicts in Rome, and he sought protection from a powerful and reliable ally. Charlemagne, with his previous victories and reputation as a strong Christian ruler, was the ideal choice. His coronation was also a sign of restoring imperial dignity in the West, divided from the Eastern Roman Empire. Besides legislative reforms, Charlemagne also addressed the threat of the Vikings, who began raiding the Western European coasts in the late 8th century. By creating a fleet and strengthening coastal defences, he aimed to repel these raids. The Vikings, known for their seafaring raids and swift attacks, represented a new kind of challenge for Charlemagne's empire. His efforts to defend against them are reflected in his strategy for fortifying borders and developing effective defensive measures. Charlemagne, also known as Karl der Grosse, died on January 28, 814. His death occurred in Aachen, present-day Germany, where he had built his famous Palatine Chapel and often spent his time. His passing followed a brief illness. At the age of approximately 72 years, Charlemagne was considered old for his time. In an era when the average lifespan was significantly shorter, this was an impressive age. He left behind a legacy as a mighty emperor who strengthened and expanded the Frankish Empire and initiated the Carolingian Renaissance, a period of cultural and intellectual revival in Europe. After his death, his imperial title and power were inherited by his son, Louis the Pious. Charlemagne was buried in his Palatine Chapel in Aachen, which later became the Aachen Cathedral. He left an enduring mark in history as one of the most influential rulers of medieval Europe. His achievements in governance, culture, and military affairs shaped European history and laid the groundwork for future developments on the continent. Charlemagne became a symbol of power, wisdom, and vision, inspiring historians and rulers for centuries. His legacy continues to echo through history, as his actions and achievements are studied and celebrated to this day. I hope you've enjoyed the story of Charlemagne and learned something new about this great ruler. See you in the next video, and until then, stay curious.